question that changed everything. How one man walked away from the rules and built his own empire. They told him, get a degree, get a job, don't take risks. But he looked around and saw people with degrees still broke. Saw people with jobs still stuck. So he asked, if this is the path to success, why does it feel like a trap? That one question changed his life, because he stopped following the path they gave him and started building one of his own. Robert Kiyosaki. He wasn't loud. He wasn't trying to impress anyone. He was the quiet one in the back of the class, always thinking a little deeper than the rest. While others were memorizing answers, he was asking questions no one wanted to hear. At 17, while his friends focused on test scores, he started studying something else: money, freedom, control. By 20, he dropped out of uni, not because he couldn't handle it, but because he realized the system was too slow for the speed of his vision. They called him reckless. They said he was throwing his future in the bin, that leaving university was a mistake, that chasing a business with no safety net was foolish. But what they didn't understand was that he wasn't being reckless. He was being honest with himself. Because deep down, he knew, if I don't take control of my life now, someone else will shape it for me. And that scared him more than failure ever could. He wasn't chasing a life where he survived. He wanted to build a life where he thrived, a life where he wasn't just another face in the system, but the one designing the system. So he stopped asking people for permission, he stopped waiting for the world to believe in him, and he started asking different questions. Instead of, what if I fail? He asked, what if I never even try and spend the rest of my life wondering what could have been? Instead of, what if I lose money? He asked, what if I waste the next 40 years in a job I hate just because it's safe? Instead of, what will people think? He asked, what if the people who laugh now end up asking me for a job later? That's when his whole mindset shifted. He realized that fear was natural, but regret lasts forever. He started thinking like a leader, talking like a builder, moving like someone who believed success was already on the way. And slowly, the fear began to fade, because every bold step he took brought him closer to the life he was meant to live. He wasn't born into money, didn't have family connections or a fancy mentor holding the door open, so he did the only thing he could. He became a student of success. He read everything he could get his hands on, books about wealth, mindset, investing, and entrepreneurship. Not textbooks, real stories of people who built freedom from the ground up. While others were binging Netflix, he was binging knowledge. He stopped listening to people who only had opinions and started studying those who had results. No one around him got it. Friends laughed, family raised eyebrows. Why not just get a normal job, they'd ask. But he wasn't interested in normal. He wanted freedom. And freedom never starts with comfort. So he built his first business from a tiny bedroom. No investors, no big office, just one laptop, a burning desire, and a vision he refused to let go. It wasn't smooth. His first few ideas flopped. He made mistakes. Some days, he doubted everything. But he kept going, because every failed attempt taught him more than any classroom ever could. He didn't see failure as defeat. He saw it as feedback. And brick by brick, lesson by lesson, he started to rise. Not because it was easy, but because he refused to quit. By the time he was 25, most people his age were still figuring things out, still stuck in jobs they didn't love, still paying off student loans from degrees they barely used. But him? He was already earning more in a single month than many of his old classmates did in an entire year. Not because he was lucky, not because someone gave him a promotion, but because he built something real. A business he owned, a system he created, a life he designed on his terms. While others were climbing ladders inside someone else's company, he was building the building. He didn't rely on a title or a manager's approval. His worth wasn't measured by a payslip or job description. He created value, and the world paid attention. It wasn't about flashy cars or big houses. It was about freedom. The freedom to wake up and do work that mattered. To make choices based on vision, not fear. And the best part? He didn't need a fancy job to get there. He needed courage, clarity, and consistency. That was the real breakthrough. Not the money, the mindset. Look, we're not saying education is bad, but most people spend their best years chasing grades and never learn the one thing that truly matters: how to control money, not be controlled by it. This isn't just about being rich. It's about having the freedom to live life on your terms. And it all starts with one question. Do I want safety, or do I want freedom? If this hit home and you're ready to stop playing small, then it's time. Start learning what school never taught. Build the skills they never showed. And design a life that doesn't ask for permission. Let the world play safe. You were built to play smart.